friends. So today for our social skills, we are going to see if we can figure out the difference between a big problem and a little problem. So a little problem is something that it might be a problem to you, it might annoy you, you might get frustrated or angry about it, but it's not really a big deal, right? It's something that you can say, excuse me, you're bothering me, and you can deal with on your own. A big problem is something that's a big deal. It's something that you need to go get your teacher or another grown up and tell them about. So let's look at our examples. We have, my friend won't play with me. Now let's think. If you're on the playground and maybe you want to play with one of your friends and your friend says, oh, I want to play by myself today. Let's think, is that going to be a big problem for you or a little problem? Is that something that you need to go get your teacher and tell your teacher about? Or is it something that you can take a couple deep breaths or use a coping skill and move on from and then go play somewhere else? Little problem, right? We can use our coping skills. We can take some deep breaths. We can count to 10 and we can go play somewhere else. Sometimes you might not want to play with other people, and that's okay. Just like if you don't want to play with your friend, it's not going to be a huge problem for your friend. What about if an older student hits you? Think about that. If an older student hits you, is that going to be a big problem? Something you need to tell your teacher about? You need to get help? It's a really big deal? Or is it going to be a little problem, not a big deal, we can take some deep breaths and move on? If you said it's a big problem, you are correct. If you ever get hit by another friend, whether it's someone you know, someone in your class, an older student, if you ever get hit by someone and they're being very unkind with their body to you, it's a big problem and you need to tell someone. What about if someone is calling you names? If someone's being really mean and they're calling you a whole bunch of different names, is it going to be a big problem or a little problem? I want you to think to yourself, is it something that you need to tell your teacher about and have your teacher help you deal with? Or is it not a big deal and you can just move on? If you said it's a big problem, I would say you're correct. If someone's calling you names and not using kind words to you and you've already asked them to stop, then you really do go tell your teacher and get help or another grown up and get help, and they'll help you deal with that because that's a big problem and it's not nice to be unkind. What about if somebody accidentally scratches you? Maybe you're standing in line and they move their arm and they accidentally scratch you. They didn't do it on purpose. It just happened on accident. Is it a big problem or a little problem? Think to yourself. Let's see where I'm going to put it. Let's see if you're correct. If you said a little problem, you're correct. It might hurt, and you can still definitely go tell your teacher, hey, I was scratched. It hurts to let your teacher know that you're hurt. But if it's an accident and they didn't mean to do it and they say, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that, then we can take a couple deep breaths and say, I accept your apology. Thank you for saying sorry. It's okay, and all of that, and we can move on with you're going to do the same thing. You have all of these different ones. You'll click on the little button, the microphone button, and it'll read it to you. And you're going to decide if the cards are big problems or if they're little problems. Have a great day.